right, it's Tuesday, April 25th, and this is an end of the day SPY recap. And today we end up with a big red bar to the downside, a two down bar moved below the low of the previous day, closed near the lows of the day. And in terms of getting a big bar like this, it really kind of wasn't surprising given some of the developments that were unfolding. First of all, on the weekly chart, we discussed at the end of last week how when you look at this bar, I mean, you're going to look back on this possibly and you're going to see all this green up, and then a red doji bar. And now if the market really decides to go down for a while, you're going to say how that was so simple to forecast, given what this bar looked like and the break to the downside. And that's fine. I mean, because that was always a possibility. Also, we knew that the month, as time was running out, was having a hard time reaching its target up here, the green line, a 2-up month. And it was just a matter after this weekly close with 1 week to go, were we going to possibly, we could have started up and reached that target actually, but it was going to be one thing or the other, the battle of the monthly chart making its target or the weekly chart kind of pausing here and reversing. And it looks like for the moment we have the reversal until, proven otherwise. Also, you can see the monthly chart is now red, and that means if we continue, we have a couple of days to go or a few days, if that closes red, it's going to be a red shooter bar that would likely project for a little lower low. That would be a 2-down month, which could project down to, the middle of this buying tail down here in the 3,900 area. So, that's the stuff that's unfolding until things change. At this point, you're going to need kind of a reversal on this weekly chart to get bullish again, and that's going to have to start with some kind of reversal on the daily chart, getting above the midpoint of this day and some kind of 2-up day. We have 3 days to go in the week, so you never know what's going to happen for sure. But for now, until some kind of sign that things change, we're going to have to really be biased to the downside and see how far down it leads us. We certainly have these 2 targets down here to take out these pivots, and then on the weekly chart you have a little bit of targets right here. So you would think high probability you should take that out at a minimum, even if you're going to reverse. But we could certainly take that out and go a lot lower. We'll find out. On the day, in terms of the structure, I mean, it was a situation where right out of the gates, you opened up near the high, the pre-market range, but immediately went lower after bar 1. So that was a sell signal. You kind of reached the pre-market low target, but got a little bit below that. Then you had a classic, one pullback, secondary push to the intraday lows. At that point, I bought puts here at the purple line, just given the big picture, context of the weekly chart that I discussed, and I shot a video describing that if you want to look at that. And obviously, we had nice follow through to the downside. What's also interesting, at the beginning of the day, even though the SPY started down, it's not like every single stock was heading lower. If I look at my, the stocks I track, I traded these. I bought Pepsi, to start at near the open. That gave you some small gains to the upside. T-Mobile was actually a nice trade to the upside in the morning trade. I tried to trade aggressive on Apple when I saw that big bar open. It was more the 5-minute chart, and it just didn't follow through. So I took a very small loss that I shot a video on, and that's why it's good to take small losses because you can see where it went from there. And even Tesla actually moved up in the morning trade, for nice gains. So all the morning trades on a few stocks were to the upside. Well, obviously there were good trades to the downside if you were, biased that way. Netflix gave you a perfect, follow through on the first bar of the downside. So did Nvidia. You can go on and find some good stocks to the downside as well. But overall, the SPY, get back to it here. We're, going to be biased to the downside until proven otherwise. What is interesting, however, and we'll see what happens in the morning, is you got stocks, very good earnings just came out on Google and Microsoft, and they jumped up a lot. So maybe in a crazy way that propelled, maybe you get this one down bar and you get the kicker pattern to the upside where you start above the midpoint of this bar tomorrow and immediately start higher. Anything's possible, but we'll just have to see what really unfolds overnight. Until then, we're going to use this weekly chart, 2 down with its targets, and kind of keep that in mind and see where this week ends. And then that should give good indication whether we're going to really have some deeper follow through, or maybe it's just kind of a pause in this uptrend that eventually, reverses back to the upside. So with those, it's earnings seasons week, so it's kind of, that gives a tricky, day to day in terms of what each of these big stocks are going to announce. So with some positive, earnings on Microsoft and Google, at least a positive reaction. Let's see if maybe this doesn't hold. Anything's possible, but if we just kind of hold in here and can't really rally, then and hold the midpoint of that bar, then look for lower, not only tomorrow but for the maybe for the weeks ahead.